New York City is showing off for our next guest because he is not afraid to get a little dirty and up close to danger, all for his art. Jason Edwards has been at the forefront of nature photography for 3 decades. Working as a National Geographic photographer has brought him to all 7 continents, face to face with an anaconda, and face to face with the clouds as he hung off the side of a flying helicopter, all to get the perfect shot. He's brought some of his favorite shots together in his book, Icebergs to Iguanas, Photographic Journeys Around the World. Jason Edwards, we have some catching up to do, friend.
We do. It's that time of the morning.
Well, first of all, thank you for making time out of your busy schedule. Remind us how many countries you were at before you landed in Midtown East?
17 over the last couple of months, yeah.
17?
Yeah, I landed last night.
And a few hours ago you were where?
I flew in from Morocco.
Morocco.
Yeah. So.
Do you have any circadian rhythm at this point?
I haven't had a sleep pattern in about 35 years, I think. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on this book.
Thank you.
It is. It features all these shots from all over the world. What were some that you knew when you were going to make this book, you were like, I know this is going in immediately? Or did you have any of those?
Well, I mean, it's one of those things when you capture a frame, if it works and it sings to you, really needs to stand the test of time. You go back to it years later and so on and so forth, and then you think, wow, I still love that shot. They get included.
Wow. I'm looking at, now we're looking at this. How do you take something like this in the wild? Literally, where are you standing?
Literally on the ground as the lions are hunting, yeah. So, and that particular frame that was just up there, the lion taking that wildebeest down, it was amazing because they sat on that wildebeest. The female came in, grabbed the muzzle, and for 10 minutes, the wildebeest didn't pass out. No. And she knew something was wrong. It had one nostril open, and it was breathing through one nostril with a lioness hanging on its face.
No way.
And then she realised, she repositioned, and then there was a gap in the side of the wildebeest's mouth, and it stayed for another 10 minutes, breathing out the side of its mouth.
Oh
and
my
then
gosh.
in the end she said, that's it, I'm done. She pads off with the cubs, and the wildebeest got up and went back to the...
No way.
Seriously, it lived, and all the other wildebeest as it walked through were sniffing the lion on it. I don't want to go near you, because it smelled like lion. Yeah, and it lived, it literally lived to see another day.
How do you compose yourself while this is happening? I mean, it's akin to a journalist being at war and kind of watching it unfold. Sorry if I've offended all the journalists out there. I'm one too, but... What is going... Are you even thinking of your own safety?
No, not normally. I have zero genetic material for self-preservation. I mean, I've had so much happen to my body, but when I'm doing those kinds of things, I'm so in the zone.
Yeah.
But it's also such a privilege because I'm aware that any single day in my career is probably the day of a lifetime for someone else. So my responsibility is to try and translate that and share it with people who don't have the opportunities that I have.
So how do you prepare for this? Because right now, we were just showing a shot of you. You were hanging out the side of a helicopter, and now we're looking at this. How do you prepare to do something like this? Are you in the savannah? Where are you? Where are we here?
That particular shot there is in East Africa. The helicopter shot's fascinating. You meet some amazing people, and I met this fantastic colonel. I won't even say what country it was in, and I turned up and he said, just don't crash the helicopter over the border, and so we took off and we had this $25 million helicopter flying through these valleys at a couple of 100 kilometres an hour. It was amazing, but they were out there looking for poachers. So these opportunities sometimes present themselves and you can't prepare for them. All you can really do is put yourself in a situation where you think you're in the right place at the right time, and then the gods either give it to you or you don't. And you put in the time and the hours.
How do you decide what ends up in this book and what doesn't? Because I'm sure there's lots on the cutting room floor.
There's lots of wine. Lots of wine is probably the way it goes. And I mean, because some of these stories have been going for decades, you might revisit that location many times and you change as a person creatively. And as we mature, you know, as a journalist, you see the story differently. And so 100%. What you think grabs you at the start doesn't. But you also know that you can't have everything. So with my team, we worked backwards and forwards through what told the story. Yeah. In the space that we had, I think, and there was a lot of frames that I just couldn't have, so there'll be other projects in the future.
There'll be another book.
Well, I mean, ideally, if this goes well, then it's actually, I'm planning it's a trilogy to journey through all these continents and looking at those 38 years of working stories that meant something to me. So that was the premise.
Wow.
You know, what meant something to me.
No fear there, just you and a friendly little snake, anaconda.
Well, I'm Aussie, so the thing is that, you know, everything in Australia we have lots of snakes, and I grew up in a halfway house for wildlife and injured wildlife, so there was always snakes in the backyard. Or
so you're good with them. You're
Yeah,
cool with them.
yeah.
It's like New Yorkers and rats.
I'll take your word for it. But no, that's the thing. I think I've spent more time with non-human species in my career than human. But my degrees were in applied science and animal sciences. So I was a zookeeper, you might know.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was a zookeeper for 12 years.
So that makes it a little, you're good with the animals.
Yeah, it's my thing.
And it looks like the animals are good with you.
We have a simpatico kind of relationship. And also, too, it's one of those things that wildlife, if you're not threatening to it, it doesn't mean things can't go wrong.
Sure, but if they sense that you're cool, they're going to be like, you know what, you stay there, I'll stay here, we'll coexist
100%.
peacefully. Jason
100%.
Edwards, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Cheers.
I can't wait to see what comes next. I mean, holy smokes, you can pick up a copy of Icebergs to Iguanas wherever books are sold.